My name is Gay Wright, and I am the past president of the board of ACP, and I'm here to welcome all of you here, and it's so great to see so many people here tonight. The first one is Kristen Howard. She's our teacher, administrator, director. She's been here for a couple of years. I can't count that high, so I don't know how long she's been here. But she does a terrific job. And beside her is Sherry Eastler and Rosemary Orozco. And the three of them go above and beyond. They do everything for the kids. I would also like to introduce Louise Kleinsmith. She's our new board president. And I had a lot of fun with it when I had it for 3 years, so I'm sure Louise is going to have fun with it too. And Ronna Kale, our state representative, and she's here tonight to offer a few words. And I'd like Ronna to come up. Sherry, or Kristen. And
thank you, Gay. And she said 3 special people were here tonight, but I think there's far more than that. And I think there's particularly the 3 special people, though, would be Kristen and Sherry and Rosemary, the teachers. I mean, it's your work and your efforts right now and your sweat and tears that invest in our kids. So thank you for your work.
Thank you, Brana. We're so pleased that you've been with us this evening. We are very pleased to have Joanne Perez with us. Joanne was a member of the founders of the group, and she was the first president of the board. And so, Joanne, would you like to stand up for us to welcome you? Through the efforts of Joanne and a group of women that this whole thing began. They worked very hard to get it started. In her 1969 annual report, 2 years after the founding of the preschool, Joanne Perez wrote in her report, quote, "The Adrian Community Nursery is certainly now a reality. Because of our common interest in building a foundation for the maturing of little children, we have built a bridge of friendship with the community, the children, and the families." End of quote. The bridge of friendship and dedication to the children of Adrian continues today, thanks to the dedicated work of all the people here. So 50 years after these early people began, we're still going strong. Thanks. I would now like to turn the program over to Natalie Salazar-Green, who's going to be the MC for the evening. Natalie?
Thanks, everybody. Welcome. I'm so happy to see all of you here. We're going to say a lot of thank yous later today. I'd like to explain what my connection is to the preschool. I'm the eldest granddaughter of Mary McCartney, and she was one of the founders. And I became a board member after she passed. She's been gone a few years, but she would be so tickled to see all of you here, to see this still continuing to provide such a great positive impact to our community.
Sorry. Meant so much to Rosie. There's a great deal of satisfaction, and I'm sure Joanne shares her satisfaction to know that it's still in existence, as well as Della and some of the early founders. And to try and share with you a little bit about this, it's going very well. It's serving its purpose. But when you stop to think, it's a remarkable institution. It was that group of women that got together and under the leadership, and I don't know how to put this, Joanne, but Joanne was a little pushy. lot of committees to do a lot of things, and Joanne wrote HERD, and it got done. Or you may have had a second phone call. But we owe a lot to her leadership, but to the cooperation. There were lots of things to get done here. It just didn't happen. You had to find a building. You had to do recruitment. And recruitment in those early days, visiting folks who were new to the community, didn't speak your language, didn't necessarily have a lot of trust. Would they want to entrust their kids to some unknown folks? And so finding the transportation, arranging for the teachers, the funding, the equipment for the building, this all took a lot of planning and a lot of work and cooperation by a lot of folks. My vantage point was Rosie's involvement. She was the manager of the school, the first school. And I think one thing that she contributed a great deal to, and it's not always clearly understood then and maybe not now, is the importance of early childhood education. It's those years when those kids are open and eager to learn. And a lot of times it's been wasted and waited until they get to the first grade. Kindergarten's a little late. We all understand the developmental task of a kid learning to walk. They start to crawl, and then they start to hang on to something, and they start to go around the furniture, and we all remember the time when they let loose and took that first step. Now, we understand that, but our mind also goes through developmental steps. And if we miss one of those steps, it could be made up. Sometimes it's never made up. Or if it is, it's at great expense. I think, Frank, you'll remember one-room schools. We weren't taught any we were taught sight reading, and to sound things out was forbidden. You could lose your job back in those days if a teacher was teaching phonics. So those things needed to be incorporated. And so I think back in those days, nursery schools were thought to be kind of babysitting. Keep them busy, entertain them, some socialization. But many people, I don't think in those days, understood the importance of the developmental task that kids 3rd and 4 were working on. And so the games and things were at the nursery were fun, but they were also had a purpose. They were recognizing sight, colors, and all sorts of things. But I think the one thing that really impressed me when I was reading the history, Joanne had a very good book. One of the little kids was interviewed, and they asked him what he learned. And he had learned the numbers and the alphabet and how to be nice to one another. Now, you see, I think developmental task, there's a lot in Washington missed that one by a gunshot. So, because of this, it was important, and I want to spend a little bit of time, way over probably, but I'm not so sure that developmental tasks are still understood by lots of folks. And I think I see that, and lots of parents would be a lot easier parenting if they did understand that a bit better.